next panel is incredible because it is all about women of power, and it's titled DigiFemme. It's comprised of women who are killing it in the digital space, and they're each making moves and names for themselves. So let's find out what it takes to be a successful digital influencer and how to truly build an authentic brand, all right? Our moderator is someone you may have heard of. She's a radio personality extraordinaire, and her name is Angela Yee. Angela sits alongside DJ Envy and Charlemagne the God on the popular nationally syndicated morning radio broadcast, The Breakfast Club. You guys listen to that? Yes, yes. Welcome out, Miss Angela Yee. And then Angela is joined by entertainment executive and entrepreneur. Here she is. Hi, Ange. Angela is joined by entertainment executive and entrepreneur Amber Grimes. She's renowned for her unique approach to branding and marketing. Amber serves as the artist and label marketing manager at Spotify and is the owner of Cardi Brand Agency. So let's welcome out Miss Amber Grimes. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Aaliyah Janelle Young, who is the creator of Queens and Letos and the inspiration and force behind the dance moves of mega artists, some young people you may know like Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj, Trey Songz, an impressive list that goes on and on and on. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out Miss Aaliyah Janelle Young. All right, guys, let's get started with our DigiFemmes panelists and make some noise for these ladies.
All right, good morning, everybody. So I want to start off with an introductory kind of question. I'll start with you, Amber. Can you talk about how you ended up at Spotify? Because it is a very interesting story.
Stalking Troy Carter? No, my journey to Spotify was like a very personal one. I've been in the music industry for 10 years now, but in Atlanta, you know, it's kind of like this hustle mentality. So it was just like, you know, working with my friends, and then they happened to be, you know, to grow their career, and I would help, and it's just like, cool, it's my homeboy. But I dropped out of college my second year, and so not having that degree and just everything about me being a black, female, young, from Atlanta, I feel like for a long time I was just like, this is the best that I could do. And when I got over that fear of using what I thought were my weaknesses as my strengths, I just went out for it, and 21 Savage's manager, Key, actually told me that Spotify was hiring somebody in Atlanta, and I think I waited 2 weeks and beat myself up about how they wouldn't pick me for the job. And after that 2 weeks, I was like, well, if they're gonna tell me no, they gotta tell me. and I went out for it. I text every friend that I know that I thought might know Troy Carter and say, hey, will you just like send him an email for me? I don't care what you say, like tell him what you really think about me. And he ended up responding to one of my friends and saying, hey, tell her to send her resume. I stayed up all night, made the most crazy personal resume that I could make because I wanted to be hired for who I was for once and not like, you know, that voice that we do over the phone that's not really us when we're trying to get a job. Like, hi, I'm Amber, and you know, and then I show up and I look totally different than that voice. No, I really wanted to work somewhere that wanted me for me, and what I know about Atlanta and all of that. And Troy ended up hiring me, and it was history after that. So I just I took a risk.
Yeah, it's a great example also of how important networking is, because you were able to call up people that you knew that could vouch for you.
Networking with your peers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, now Aaliyah, first of all, congratulations to you. If you guys follow her on social media, you got engaged yesterday.
I did. She's off the market.
And she's still here working. I was like, is she gonna show up, or are they
Right, no, I was this close, but I was like, nah, let me not do that.
So just to get some background information on you, let's talk about when you went viral and how you got noticed and actually started your own company.
Yes. So first of all, I've been a dancer ever since I could remember. I've always had the dream of dancing for the Beyoncés, dancing for the Nicki Minaj's, dancing, you know, with the most popular artists of the day. And I started assisting someone for 2 years as a dancer, and as someone as young as I am, you have to, there's levels, you know what I mean? There's things that you have to do to build up, to pay your dues, if you will. So after I started dancing for a little bit, booking jobs, I started assisting as I felt like I needed to be closer to a choreographer, closer to someone that's actually making money doing what they love to do as, you know, being a creative or artist. And ever since then, when you start for a dancer, you reach a certain goal to where it's like, okay, what's the next thing that you have to do? I can dance for people for however many years, but just I want the challenge. I want to keep growing. What's the next level? How can I be better? You know what I mean? So after being a dancer, it's kind of like, let's create your own stuff. Let's create your own choreography. So I think the first video that went viral was Jason Derulo. It was actually before Chris Brown. That's what everybody knows me as the Chris Brown repose, privacy challenge, that girl or whatever. But the first video was Jason Derulo, and it was very surprising because I wasn't even trying.
Right.
I was literally just in the studio after my class, hair was nasty, sweat everywhere, and I was like, you know what, let me just get this on tape. This was when Instagram was still big, but I didn't quite understand what it could do for me. So I had just posted it. Next thing you know, like 2 days later, Jason Derulo posted it. The numbers went great, and I was like, oh, well, there you go. And then just one thing led after another. Choreography became better. I became to know who I was as a dancer, know who I was as a choreographer and as a creator. And I think that's when Chris Brown had noticed me, posted me, and it was a wrap. It was a wrap ever since.
That's great because that happens so organically. A lot of times people try to make things go viral and it never works out right. It doesn't feel right. All right, now I want to talk about this, and I want you both to chime in on this. This is something that Amber posted on social media.
Look at what I post.
She said, instant gratification is killing this generation. These kids want everything now, and they get everything now, and then tomorrow they have nothing to live for. I wanted to grow up fast, we all did, but I thank God the lack of technology made me wait. So let's talk about why you wrote that, and maybe you can both weigh in on what you think about technology and how maybe sometimes it is hurting.
Yeah, I mean, I call myself a beta millennial because I'm like, all right, cool, I had Instagram and dial-up internet, so I feel humbled, you know, that I did AOL. But being in the music industry in this, you know, in this time, you know, the stars that I work with are like 16 and 17-year-olds now, and like they make me feel old. I'm like, I'm still in my 20s, but you know, you're seeing these kids and they're rich and they're famous, and being more mature now and like, you know, kind of being like a real like parent to them almost. I feel it more than ever that I'm like, yo, there's something not right about this. Like, I couldn't imagine having $10 million as a 16-year-old. Like, what would I be doing? I was running around playing with my friends.
$10 million and social media.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
yeah,
that would have been
media,
like?
I just, you know, the pressure, and I try to come from a place of understanding instead of judging them, because my parents thought that I was growing up too fast, and their parents probably thought they were growing up too fast. But the tools that we have today can be scary.
Right.
You know, and so I made that post just about, you know, to bring awareness more to people my age that manage these artists, that are mentors to these artists, that are around these artists, older friends, to take better care of those younger people and give them better information. It wasn't about the kids. I'm not judging the kids. It was about us being better leaders to them, and letting them know, like, it's not good to get everything today because there's nothing else for you to have tomorrow. And so there's a huge epidemic with a lot of these kids committing suicide right now.
Right.
And they're unhappy, and there's this stuff called suicide rap, and your kids are listening to it, and you have no idea. You know, you're just listening, and these kids are talking about killing themselves and taking drugs, and I just feel like my generation could do a better job of asking people if they're okay, or getting people help when they need to, and not signing them to a record deal because they made a wonderful song about how depressed they are.
Right.
So I wasn't judging the kids. It was more so about like, hey, if you can help, because I feel like I'm someone that can help, do what you can, even if it's just one person. Like, let them know how beautiful life is, and to like that it's okay to slow down, because social media makes us go super fast. It's super okay to slow down. That's it.
Well said. And we've been seeing a lot of the results from that now too, so it's something we have to pay attention to, mental health.
Yep.
All right, now Aaliyah, let's talk about some ways that you can organically get your followers up, because you went through the roof pretty quickly. But a lot of people say, well, I'm in a small town, I don't know a lot of people, how do I get attention? Yeah. What are some ways that people can get their followers up and be social media influencers?
So how I started, I'm just gonna give everybody Listen, I'm a very big advocate of people having their own lanes, people having their own paths, and just because it worked for me, it may not work for you, but maybe it does work for you. But I'll just give how it happened for me. So I was definitely that person that, yes, saw Instagram and saw the YouTubers and saw everybody making money, saw everybody just growing to be this big celebrity. And I wasn't so sure that I wanted to get to that level because I just wanted to dance. I just wanted to, fulfill my journey in becoming Beyonce's main dancer, you know what I mean? So this Instagram social media thing I didn't quite understand, but I realized the platform that's given us as millennials, and as a dancer, you have to constantly depend on somebody to like you, somebody to like what your look is, to approve of what you dance like. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like my career is constantly in other people's hands, a casting director, a choreographer, an artist, and whatnot. So I realized that social media was, whoa, it's changing the game. So to answer your question, to build your following, I say to definitely collaborate, to use, this other talent, whether it be a makeup artist, whether it be another dancer, whether it be Amber, whether it be you know what I mean, that has somewhat of a following, or maybe not, you know what I mean? But just to constantly collaborate, put yourself out there, use other people's platforms, ask for help, whatever it is. But that's definitely how I grew my following, is definitely collaborating with people who have associated their social medias and did have a following.
Now, you mentioned collaborations. How do you ladies decide who you want to collaborate with and do partnerships with? Because that's important too.
I always say protect your brand, and I know brand is like a word that everybody throws out very loosely, but now because we have social media and a place to advertise yourself, everyone does have a brand, and I always ask people well, what are you selling? And some people are actually selling products, like Aaliyah, you're selling your talents. Right. It's not a product, it's you, it's who you are. And so when you're collaborating and working with other people, does it fit your brand? My manager gets so upset with me about checks that I don't want to take because I'm like, I don't drink.
Right.
And so, it does nothing for me to take a $10,000 check to post liquor on my page, and I don't promote that. I don't sell that. So you got to have some integrity about collaboration, and just try to be yourself. And I know sometimes rent is due. But that that a partnership can ruin your reputation. Collaborating with the wrong person can bring you the wrong audience. So I just always say ask yourself, is this who you are? Is this what you want to represent? Is this how you want to be seen or associated? Someone that you want to be associated with, and then move on from there. So Aaliyah, if there's an artist that you didn't want to work with, maybe you don't dance to their song because you don't want to promote them, and that's okay. No. So it's all about that.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I actually experienced it firsthand, as I wanted to collaborate with someone that had 4 million plus followers. And I realized that after we posted our video together, it did nothing for me. My numbers did not grow as much as I thought I was going to get at least half of those 4 million followers, okay? But I didn't, because I realized that we have two different audiences. So it wasn't natural for me to, to collaborate with her, but I just saw those numbers. So as a person coming into Instagram, all I saw was the numbers, but what I really needed to see was, what was the content? Is it natural? Is our energy right? Is it, can we bounce this off of one another? And it's, in all reality, she was representing one thing and I was representing another, and I guess the followers were confused, but I totally agree with what Amber said. Just as long as the energy is right, just as long as you guys just are grounded within yourselves and within your brand to help one another up, that's when it can help, that collaboration.
Well, talk about experience that you've had that have been successful collaborations. Maybe you saw something that you like, and then you posted it, and then they hit you up, because I know that happens sometimes. I know you do Shoe Dazzle, which seems like a natural connection. But talk about what makes you decide, I do want to work with somebody, and it's successful.
Well, so we can bring up Shoe Dazzle. Obviously, my brand, I am the creator and owner of my class, Queens and Lettos. Just a background, it's a heels class, basically like a hip hop and heels class for my queens who are either beginner level, intermediate, advanced, maybe a mom that wants to feel sexy again, maybe a grandmother that's like, I don't care. Whatever it is, it's for all my women to just come in and be surrounded by everybody. And we're wearing heels, so we're elevated. I say to my queens that obviously heels make you feel taller, heels make you feel like your curves are coming out. It just brings out another energy within you. So I started, these are actually Shoe Dazzle, but I was wearing heels, and as someone as young as I am, I'm 23, when I was about 16, 15, 16, I was like, Shoe Dazzle is the one. I don't know. It was like it was a brand that sold shoes for an affordable price. But they had hit my manager up. I was like, wow, the stars are aligning, I guess. And when I got in there, just everything, they wanted me for me. And that's what Amber was kind of talking about in the beginning. They wanted me for me. They wanted me because I was outgoing, personality, cuss sometimes, but I'm just, you know what I mean? So when you meet somebody that you just vibe with, that's the one, and it just becomes magic.
Yeah, collaboration for me has always been about adding value, just because of the type of business I do. So when I was much younger and I first started working with Reebok, it was very big for them to have an audience in Atlanta. And at the time, Reebok was not a hot brand name. You know, it wasn't Nike, it wasn't all of that. And so I said, hey, like, I know all the influencers in Atlanta, and I really have nothing to offer Nike. I can't make Nike any cooler than they already are right now, you know? So like, what is that? It doesn't bring value to the company. It doesn't bring value to me as someone who does marketing or influencer marketing. So working with Reebok was amazing for me because I said, hey, if I can change people's perception of this brand 2%, then I've given the company value, and I can say for myself, because credit is important, that's your resume, you know, cool, I helped elevate this brand in the city that I live in, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always been about being able to add value. So like that person collaborating with you and knowing that their followers weren't going to translate, or like some people have followers on Instagram. Having followers and being influential is very different.
Very
Just want to say
different.
that. There's a lot of people who have 1 million followers and they'll tag you and you'll be like, all right, 1, 2, 3 people I don't know, because that person's not actually influential. And then there's somebody who might have 20,000 followers, but their followers listen to everything they
Their
say.
engagement.
They want to do what they do. They want to know who they know. They want to wear what they wear. So when they tell them to do something, they have a call to action. And so numbers aren't everything. You have to look at the engagement, and you have to look at influence. It's not just numbers.
Yes.
So.
And that is what companies really look for. When they want to hire people as influencers, it's more about the engagement than it is how many followers does this person have. Because if you're just posting things all the time, promoting something, it doesn't have that effect.
Right.
All right, now you guys both are very well versed in standing out from everyone else. So what makes somebody catch your eye right now? Because I'm sure there's people that you're like, I would love to help this person out, and everyone's sending you things. So how do you say, okay, this person deserves a chance? When's the last time that's happened?
I mean, what, like I said, what I do is different. I work in fun corporate, but I love to come to things like this, right? And I just was speaking at Hampton University last week, and I love to, when little girls follow me on Instagram, and I look at their Instagram, and it fits what they just talked to me about. They say, oh, I want to be just like you, or I want to do marketing when I grow up, or whatever, and there's something on their page that lets me know, like, hey, she's teaching herself how to market herself, or, you know, she wants to be a businesswoman, and when I go to her page, no offense to anyone, there's no, you know, behinds on the bathroom counter pictures. You know, I say, okay, cool, she really, it happens. You know, I'll go to the page and be like, woo, are you sure this is what you want to be? Like, what are you selling right now? So I love consistency, and I like to be able to see potential in somebody. So like, my one thing about kids today, I wish I had all the tools that they had. So like, if you say you want to be a personal trainer, a professional one, you should be working out on your Instagram. Like, that's what I want to see. If you say that you do anything, if you do makeup and you're not that good yet, you better be doing some faces on somebody, you know, making videos of you practicing, making product videos, because when it's 2020 and you can go back to 2018 and be like, girl, look at my work then and look at my work now, that's incredible. But if you have no work then, you probably will have no work now either. So like, I like to see people showing their potential, because it's an incredible platform to use for that.
Totally. I absolutely agree with Amber. I also look for someone who's as dedicated to their brand as I am. I'm very authentic when it comes to my brand, and very natural. Nothing is forced. And I also look for that within that other person as well. Sometimes, like we said, sometimes it's not about the number. Sometimes it's about what the energy feels like. When I meet you, are we vibing? Can I help you to help me, to help you to help me? You know what I mean? It's just like this constant, it's this constant exchange. But what I really look for, because Queens and Letos is near and dear to my heart, like forever. It's like my own baby. So I kind of look for that in that other person. What is your baby? What can I help you with? Are you as passionate? Will you do everything that it takes to grow this? And let's do it together.
Now, of course, we never know when is the exact right time to start on a new venture. So how did you figure out it was the right time to take a risk and get over any type of fear that you might have had and actually get out there and submit that resume and make that call or start your own company? When is it time for you to say, I'm going to leave the safety of this. I'm going to drop out of college because I know there's something else that my life is destined to be. Yep. When do you know it's the right time to do something like that?
The time for me is always now. And like, if you don't do it now, you will keep telling yourself things that aren't true about yourself. You will wait a week and then you'll beat yourself up and call yourself lazy just because you waited 5 days. And then that type of, you have to watch the way you speak to yourself, right? And so the longer you wait and the more excuses you make, and what you're watching yourself do creates this like wall that you can't get past, and you're like building it up brick by brick every day that you wait and make an excuse. And so now, instead of just doing it, now you got to tear down this brick wall of insecurities to get to where you're going. It's like, if you want to do something, if you want to start writing a book, start writing it today. You know, like I said, I didn't go to school and say, you know, I want to be a doctor. Now I'm a doctor. Everything was a choice that I had to make, and I had to teach myself. And so, like, if you want to do something, I tell everybody, like, if you want to be something, you're that today. If you want to train people, start working out, and now you're a trainer, and now you need to just live up to those goals that you've set for yourself. You know, whoever you want to be, you're going to be, or you will be, as long as you start showing up as that person. And if you don't, you know, I hate when kids tell me, you know, I'm an aspiring singer. I'm like, well, do you sing? Well, you are a singer. You know, you're not a famous singer yet. You're not a wealthy singer yet, but you're a singer. And when you start acting like that and filling your own shoes, you will rise to the occasion much faster than saying that you're a wannabe.
And I agree with that, because a lot of times people will come to us and say, this is what I want to do this, but you're not doing it yet. Yep. Right. And I know the best way to get somebody to support you is to show that you're putting forth the effort, investing in yourself to do those things that you're telling other people that you need help with, when you're not even believing in yourself enough and going hard enough yourself to make those things happen.
I definitely agree with you guys. I love this question because I just got off of my Queens and Nettles tour, and this is literally what I told them every single show, is that the minute you start doing something because you actually love to do it and you forget about what the finish line is, whether it be that 1 million followers, whether it be the $10 million, whether it be the Nicki Minaj coming to book me, after you realize that the finish line doesn't matter, because I feel like that's why everybody doesn't really do what they love to do, because they're like, well, damn, Beyonce is not going to find me. Well, damn, I'm not going to get to 10 million followers. Well, damn, I can't do that. So why even do the thing that I actually want to do? It may not make me the money. So you know what? Let me just go ahead and get this 9-to-5 job and make the money and just have it right then and there. The minute that you just forget about what that finish line is and just focus on what the journey is, and dancing because you love to do it, or doing makeup because you love to do it, regardless of the paycheck or not, that's when it is your time. I think that's why I'm so successful in my brand, because I never looked for the Chris Brown to post me. You know what I mean? I have numerous friends dancing for Beyonce, dancing for Chris Brown, dancing for all of the artists that I would love to work with. But it's like, you know what? If they see me, they see me. If they don't, they don't. I'm doing what I do, and I love to do it, regardless of what happens afterwards. I'm feeding my soul, and that's all that matters. So I think that's when that time is for you to just do something because you love to do it and not for that finish line.
And yes. Yep. And I also encourage people, I know a lot of times we're like, oh, I need somebody to invest money in my idea. I need this, I need that. Like, invest your own into your own idea and start making it happen, so you can prove why somebody should want to invest and why it can be something that's potentially successful. A lot of times we just expect people to do so many things when we're not doing them ourselves.
Can I say something, Angela? Mm-hmm. Also, like, the best thing about just doing things now is, like, you need a time to figure out what you don't like. You know, so there's a bunch of things that I've wanted to be. I see somebody else being successful selling shirts, and I'm like, what? I can sell shirts. And that is not my destiny. It's not my passion. It's not going to work out. But if I try and I sell 20 shirts, I'm like, you know, this is not the business for me. And it's great, because then you have all this experience and all these other things that you gain knowledge, but like, you start to figure out what you like and what your passion is. But I know people that have wanted to be a makeup artist for 10 years, and then you wait and you start doing makeup and you're like, I don't even like this. Like, the clients are rude, everything's like, if you start discovering what you don't like, you'll have a much quicker path to what really fits you.
And also, like, start off small. Yep. You know, you started off your Queens and Lotos classes. It doesn't have to be you go and buy a studio and set up. You did it on the road, right?
Right, yes. I literally woke up one Tuesday, was like, I want to start teaching. So I put it out on social media. At this time, I only had maybe less than 10K, if not 10K. But I was like, whoever wants to come can come. Whoever doesn't, they're missing out, frankly. And as someone that didn't start off being a choreographer, no one knows me to be a choreographer. No one knows me to be teaching. So me putting this out that one Tuesday was kind of like a shock to people. So I only had about 5 people in my class, and it was like that for a couple weeks. But like Amber says, you have to stay consistent. I'm not looking for the finish line. I'm not looking for the money that happens after class. I'm not looking for a sold-out class that I can put up on social media. It's like, no, I woke up that one Tuesday because I wanted to teach. I had something to say. I want to build my own choreo. I want to find myself as a dancer. I want to find the things that I like. I want to find the things that I don't like. Regardless of what that finish line is, I'm going to keep doing it. And with that consistency, with that mindset of not really caring about what anybody says, with, you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm flowing right now. I lost it. But yes, it's definitely being consistent, going, and yeah.
And I love that. Consistency
doing
is
what you love to
important
do.
too, because people will say, oh, I just started my podcast, but I only have 30 people listening. But it's really important. You never know when that's going to pick up. So if people are expecting you to put out your podcast on a certain day at a certain time every week or every other week or whatever you've set up, it's so important to stick to that and make sure that you're constantly not letting people have the expectations that you're going to do something at a certain time and do it. So.
Yep.
I'm glad we talked about consistency.
Come on, lip service.
We've been putting that out on time every week. At first, it was a little rough. All right. What would you say has been the evolution of social influencer marketing from when you first started in your career until now?
I mean, I would say I feel like the influencers have more control than they ever did of their careers, their destiny, and of these deals. At first, it was a moment where like people didn't really know what to do with their talent. So I always reference my friend DC Young Fly, who I know he was just making videos doing stupid stuff for a long time. And that launched him into being on Wild 'N Out, and now he's an actor. He's everything that he probably didn't even think that he could be. And now he is in, and he was always in control of that. So before, I think that people were doing things to wait for companies to come to them. And now you have this power to kind of pick and choose and come to a company with an idea and say, hey, this is how I want to partner. You can leverage my brand like this. Because these companies really have no idea what they're doing. Like, there's not, I love when they hire people like myself to come and show them the culture, and they're getting there. But like outside of that, you'll always wonder, like, man, how are they working with this person? And that's somebody's son, or just someone that they saw here or there. But the people with the real influence, they never get to because it's not their audience or it's not something that they were following. So now I feel like the influencers can take their social currency and their value to these companies and broker deals with them to create shoes and things that they never could have had, and like really just take control of their own careers. So that's the best part. You can go to the people now. You don't have to wait for the people to come to you.
Couldn't agree more.
Just like, yes, cash that check.
Cash the check.
And we've seen so many people actually launch companies just doing social media campaigns now and not doing traditional advertising. How important do you think traditional advertising is?
Look, I'm like, I don't want to say it's not important.
I mean, think about it this way. When we're at home and we're watching TV, and then, or maybe not. Okay, let's bring it to social media. There's a difference between looking at a video, big production, makeup flawless, hair, whatever it is, just let's look at the production value, and let's look at the person. Hey guys, that's all we hear that all the time. Hey guys, so this whatever it is. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl. Da 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 da. So I'm selling this, and I just think da 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 and do 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 and dee 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 dee. You know what I mean? We can just tell now what's natural and what's not.
Like, does that bra really work that you sent?
Right.
So no, with that brawl.
Right. That's whatever the name is, that tape bra thing.
Yeah.
Hey guy, it may look good now, but then once she turns out that camera, that thing is slipping. Like, we didn't even know that somebody was actually holding it for them. Like, whatever it is, but we can just tell. I think nowadays we can tell what's authentic and what's not. But then we go to someone like whoever. The production is very low. They're in their room and they're like, you know what, guys, look. I'm not trying to impress. You know what, guys, look. This tape thing, whatever. I jump up and down, like, just. You can just tell what's authentic. I don't know how else to explain it, but I just
Cardi B.
Exactly.
Love
There you go. Cardi B
authenticity.
just doesn't care. Just tongue out, this, out, this. You know what I mean? But people like that because they can actually relate to it. You know, we see that there's an actual person in there. Yes, she's making money. Yes, the Gucci this and all, and just living lavish, right? But then it's like she doesn't care. She didn't lose herself. She's still who she is from Love and Hip Hop or wherever she started. You know what I mean? I think that's what people love about her is because she's just out there, authentic. That's who she is from the beginning to right now, same person.
Or like, remember the Patty's Pies that went viral? He was singing about Patty's Pies, and that really made her sales skyrocket. And that was something that was completely unplanned. And it was authentic, and that's how that went down. How important is it for you to have your own company outside of what you do as far as being a manager at Spotify?
I mean, having my own company was me teaching myself how to do what I do for this company. That was me waking up now and saying, okay, I want to own a business. Well, go get an LLC, and now you're a business owner. Cool. Like, that gave me motivation. So, I mean, that was important for me to start because that's what kicked off my whole career and like whatever I'm gonna do. I have somewhere to send checks to. You know, I can do my taxes. I have an LLC, but it motivated me to say, hey, like if you want to be a business owner, be a business owner. LLC costs X amount of dollars. Like it's like $100. You have it. Instead of spending that on these shoes, go and like invest in yourself. So Cardi Brand Agency is just very near and dear to my heart, although I work exclusively for Spotify now. That is how I learned everything that I'm able to do for them. Yeah, start a business, please. LLCs are so cheap. Like, be a business owner.
Honestly, look, as someone, I just turned. I say to my queens, age is nothing but a number. But I am about to turn 24, and to have this business that can just do so many things for my queens and my kings, just for everyone, it's absolutely surreal. Like, my Queens and Letos is only about a year and a half old, right? A year and a half old. I just got off my own tour, doing my own thing. I'm not behind an artist. I'm not behind anybody. It's literally me as an artist, but not an artist. I'm a dancer. Well, a dancer is an artist as well, so don't get me wrong. But anyway, it's very, very important because as a spiritual being, as someone that really focuses on the law of attraction and someone who focuses on energy, the surroundings, what you actually feel, what makes you happy, what feeds your soul, having this business and knowing that I do not have to work for anybody. I don't have to say yes to Beyonce when she comes. I don't have to say yes to Nicki Minaj.
But you will say yes to Beyonce.
I would say yes. Beyonce, if you are listening to this and you see this, I want to work for you.
Let's not
Please
get crazy.
hire me.
She said, buddy, you don't have to.
Please. You don't know this, but I am your long lost sister, okay? No. Listen, on a serious note, I feel like everybody has their own purpose. Everybody has something to offer. And yes, we can work below somebody to practice and to receive that help and to receive that mentorship, but we live life to be who we want to be. We live life to do the things that we want to do. We live life to be happy every single day, not to wake up miserable that one morning, clock in at 8 a.m., wait for 6 p.m. to come, then drive in traffic, pick up our kids. We are on this life. We are living this lifetime to have the things that we want, to travel to Dubai when I want to have somebody pick up my kids when I need them to pick up my kid, whatever it is, to get married at 24, whatever the case may be. If you're happy, that's what life is about. And you can't, right? And I feel like I wouldn't be happier if I didn't have Queens and Letos and if I didn't realize that I can have my own business and grow it to measures.
All right. Well, we are going to take some questions. That was so awesome. So if people could line up, I'm not sure where. Oh, right here? Okay, you have the mic. So we're going to take some questions right now. And if you guys can make sure you keep your questions, brief, because we only have 15 minutes, so we want to get to as many as possible.
Hello, everybody. I am Chantel. I run an organization or a business called Story to Brand. I worked in the music industry and in health for a long time. I'm by trade a workaholic, I will say, but I chose to go into telling stories because we can go around and talk about brands all day, but it's all about the stories. My question for you all, because it's not something I really heard come up as far as giving back to the community and things like that, because I would love to connect. I run a workshop called Believe in What You Dream, and I've been traveling around the world, and I would like to bring it here and do it more often.
Well, I do own a juice bar in Brooklyn, and we do a monthly thing called Wealth Wednesdays. It's a series where we teach people, anybody can come, it's free, and we have different experts come in, like we've had Google come in, we've had the small business services come in, and we do HIV testing also, so it kind of helps the community learn about finances. We've done something with State Farm, and then I have a book club that I do once a month that's all about, like, we get Simon & Schuster to donate the books to give away to people that join the book club, and I have a running club that I do also. So yes, health and wellness and knowledge is important. But I do agree with you, it is really important for us to always make sure that we pay it forward in our communities.
I have a company called Power Women Sweat, and like Aaliyah, I woke up one day and said, hey, like, I hate how mean girls are to each other in the music industry, in any industry, and we all have so much in common, and the best way to get girls to stop being mean to each other is to have them show up somewhere in sports bras, because we're all insecure about our bodies, no matter how many followers you have. And so I started teaching a free fitness class in Atlanta monthly with Reebok. They sponsored me while I was doing that, and would have these girls come and work out and teach them how to network and to talk to each other. And now that I've just relocated to LA, I keep a group me for all the girls that's ever come to the event, and they're all in there. It's about 200, 300 girls now, and they all sending each other jobs, picking up each other's kids from daycare, dyeing each other's hair, doing all types of things, but just knowing each other and being nice to each other. And that's my thing, is just like, yo, like, we can all help each other, and I just wanted to give people a way to connect. Yeah, let me know if you want to be in the group me.
So while I just got off tour for Queens and Letos, Queens and Letos started as a class that happens every single Wednesday and Friday that I hold. Like I said before, Queens and Letos is, yes, a heels class, and oh my God, it's taught by the Leah Janelle that has this many following and all of that. But what I really want to encourage is that it's a class for all levels: beginners, intermediate, advanced, for grandmothers, for moms that just had a baby and that want to feel sexy again, for the dancers that have retired but wow, I want to go back to my passion. I remember that I love to dance. Let me go to this class. So it's definitely a class for everybody, as well as really remembering what self-love is. Really remembering what self-love is, and not dancing because, like I said, because you're looking for that finish line, but just dancing because, damn, I want to move again. And music is what literally unites the whole world. You know what I mean? And that's what my class brings. We also have this thing called a win circle, where I tell all of my students to give us a win. A win can be, I woke up this morning. A win can be, I started working out. I want to start focusing on my body, and this is my first step in doing that and coming to your class. A win can be, I broke up with my man of 6 years. It was a toxic relationship. It took me so long to get out, but listen, I finally, you know what I mean, this flashlight went off, and it was time for me to move on and do what I love to do, and whatever it is. So and just to come to a close, what that win circle is meant to do is to really unite the class as one, and to be grounded before we start doing the twerks, before we start, you know what I mean, living our lives. It's really remembering who we are as a person, where we came from, and remembering that we are winning. Maybe we don't have the $10 million in our bank account. Maybe we're not driving the Ferrari that we want. Whatever it is, we are still here. We still have another chance. We are winning regardless. So Queens and Letos, it really brought a lot of people together and brought my two best friends with me. So.
All right. So my name is Khalil Corbin, and I want to start by saying thank you, Angela, for sharing your story. And particularly, I'm talking about how you started lip service online, and you kept doing your thing even when you didn't have a job. So that inspired me to start a podcast, and so thank you for that.
That's great.
But my question is for Amber. So I am actually trying to get in the music industry, continue working on my podcast as well. So what's your advice for someone who does not have the network, or who does not have the, what do you call it? The network, the community to put myself in that industry?
Go and build it. When Instagram first started, we all had 0 followers, and you have to go and find it. So when you say, I'm trying to get into the music industry, you're either in it or you're not. So however many followers you have or however, you're in it as soon as you put your song on Spotify, because you can do that in the process.
I don't mean from a song perspective.
Or put your podcast on Spotify. Whatever, when you start, you're in the industry. So nothing's stopping you. Have you started your podcast yet?
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
How many episodes you got?
15.
Where can I find them?
Apple Music.
You didn't even name the podcast. What is it?
The State of Re podcast.
Okay.
And you can find it on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify.
You're so in the music industry, you don't even know it, right? So you have, you're deep in it. So you have 15 episodes already. How are you promoting those? Are you doing any type of media? Like Angela said, you can do geo-targeted ads on Spotify, on Facebook. Start getting your brand out there. Have people that support your podcast start tweeting about it if you can, even if they're just your friends that have 500 followers. If you get 5 more for the podcast, that's 5 more for the podcast. Make sure it's available on Facebook. Make sure you have nice pictures to promote it. When somebody on Twitter that listens to your podcast goes, man, this is great, put it up there so now you have a testimonial. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can since you're trying to be in the industry. I want to know what you're doing to try, and you need to use up all your resources. And
go on other people's podcasts too. That's a great way to get, those are people that are already listening to podcasts, listening to theirs, so go on theirs so that they'll hear you as a guest and then want to come to your podcast also.
When did you start?
It's been 2 years. So we had one podcast and I started a channel. So.
Don't tell anybody else that you're trying. Because
right.
I want to start
You have a podcast.
You're deeper
I
in
got
the industry than me.
But all right, and then do you guys mind? I have some shirts for y'all, so can I get them?
Yeah.
I was going to say, ask one of us to be a part of your podcast.
Can all of y'all be on my podcast?
Oh, you holding it? Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tavana Evans, and I'm the founder of GuapCoin, a cryptocurrency I created for Black-owned businesses. I am also a professional astrologer, Aquarius Maximus, and I'm on Spotify as well. I have 2 personalities, so a lot of people don't know I'm the same person. But at any rate, do you find, and I have a question for you ladies specifically, because I've experienced this myself, and I didn't know it was because I was a woman or because I was a woman of color, that it was so difficult just to be seen in the real life. So I wanted to know about your experiences, because and I say real life because there's social media life and then there's real life. So in social media life, we fight so hard to be seen, but in real life, we fight so much harder to be seen. Yeah. So I wanted to know what your experiences were in regards to that, because I feel I've walked into spaces where I'm invisible as a woman or invisible as a woman of color.
That's a loaded question.
Loaded, right.
I mean, my thing, like I said again, and I hope this answers your question, is that these things, I feel like when we're not seen, that is something that breaks down our insecurities as Black women, and makes us feel insecure about who we are, so we actually start hiding a little bit. I have another Instagram page called Inspirational A-Hole that I use to give my inspiration and funny things that I like to say. I'm very blunt with my advice. And for a very, very long time, I never put that I was a female. I never put that I was Black, because I just wanted the followers to grow organically without judging who was the person giving them the advice. And I think that was the worst thing that I ever did with that brand, because it is amazing that that advice is coming from a Black girl. It's amazing that that advice is coming from a woman, period, whatever it is. And whoever doesn't like you, they don't have to like you. Everyone doesn't have to like you. But people that are going to be motivated by the fact that you're a Black woman doing what you're doing, that's your audience. So you don't need 1 million followers if there's 50,000 people that love you for who you are. So you have to show up for yourself and show up big. And like you said, whoever doesn't notice you, that's their problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Be that woman, because there's so many other. Be that one person to come out and to show us three, show this whole room that they can do it too. Because there's so many people that do feel invisible. There's so many people, whether they're Black or whatever it is. It won't help. It won't help the community. It won't help other women. It won't help the world if we give into, well, nobody sees me. Well, I feel invisible. Damn, well, that probably means that I shouldn't do it. Be that one person, like she said. I don't need to make friends. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because I'm feeding my soul, and this is what I love to do, and I'm not looking for that finish line. So that's what it is. You know what I mean?
You are doing a detriment to yourself by not letting anybody else that looks like you know what they're capable of if they can't see you.
And I think that's where networking really comes in. I know for myself doing radio, it is hard. Like, they always look at you as a woman, as a co-host, as not a main host or equal. And it's really important to have a network of people that are also have a lot of ambition that you can go to for support, and you guys can support each other and really lift each other up too.
Are you an Aquarius?
No. I'm a Scorpio, but.
Okay, let's chat after this. I love astrology.
I love astrology too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Philip. I own an IT consulting company, and I guess my question to all three ladies is, do you have recommendations, because you mentioned collaborations and branding and making sure that they're the right fit. Do you have any recommendations on vetting fit? Seeing if a collaboration or partnership is right for what you want to represent or for your business, on vetting those.
What now?
So if we're vetting out potential opportunities, they're coming to us to work with them, and we're trying to vet them out?
Yeah, so advice for any of us that are looking at partnerships.
You just do your research. You know, even if before I hire someone to be an intern, I want to look at their social media. I want to know what they're selling and who's representing my company at any level. And so you can go look at, I will scroll back to 2015 and see what you were selling. Because I want to know, you know, so, and everyone's entitled to change, but I want to know. So, you know, if you're thinking about partnering with a company, Google that company. Google is free and it is your best friend. And you can see what their values are, what that company stood for, if there's
who else they've worked with,
who they've worked with, any trouble that they've had in the past, how they've overcome that trouble, what their, you know, what their methods of, you know, we've had a lot of companies have had a lot of trouble recently, but a lot of them have come to better solutions to help be a better brand. So it's all about research.
And I love that Amber says if she's going to hire you as an intern, she's going to go and look at all your social media. Just remember that, guys. Whenever we're trying to go somewhere or work for a company, they are definitely looking at what you put
you were
on
cute
your social media.
You were cute on spring break in 2012. Archive that. Don't play around.
Yes, no, I definitely agree. I mean, nowadays, I know social, for me, being a social media influencer, sometimes social media is so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying, but that's what our day and age is. And yes, we're going to look if you have an Instagram. We're going to look if you have a Twitter. We're going to look if you have a website, frankly. You know what I mean? So yes, I think research is a big thing to really see how legit it is. You know what I mean?
If everybody could just keep it down, we just have 5 more minutes. I want to make sure everyone can hear. Thanks.
Yes, Angela.
Hi, thank you ladies so much. Welcome to the Bay Area. My name is Shay and I run a blog, shaydaily.com. And I wanted to know, how do you differentiate yourself in a market that seems to become a little oversaturated? I noticed with blogging, my background is in communication. So I'm APA style, I'm like, you know, strict and by the book, but I'm noticing people who don't even have a background in it are thriving. So how do I differentiate myself or really like stand out?
Well, to me, sorry guys. Yeah. To me, I began to realize that nobody could be me. Nobody can be Amber. Nobody can be Angela. We can all be working in the same fields. We can all be on social media. We can all be dancers, but they can't exude the energy that I have. They don't have my personality, right? you know what I'm saying? So regardless of what my following is, what your following is, regardless of where I have been and where have you been, regardless of the people that we have worked with, nobody can be you. So it's about time that you start embracing who you are, what's different about you, what's true to you, because frankly, that's what everybody will see, regardless of what the numbers and what the background is. But who are you? What makes you different? You know what I mean?
When's the next time you're going grocery shopping?
Ooh, I be grocery shopping all the time. Look, I gotta keep
next time you go to the grocery store, walk down the bread aisle and see how many breads there are.
Right.
There's 30,000 companies selling bread, and they're all on shelves. And all those companies are making money. They've been there for years and years. They have different colors on their logos. They taste different. Some of them are wheat. Some of them are white. Walk down a bread aisle, and then you figure out how to differentiate yourself. And there's Uber and there's Lyft. You know what I'm saying? And both companies have been acquired by somebody. There's room for everybody to make money. So stop trying. You don't need to worry about making room for yourself. Just do what you do, and somebody will find you.
Yep.
Yep.
And I just want to add, as somebody for what I do for a living, I look at blogs every single day, and I know what matters to me is, are you constantly updating and consistent? And do you have exclusives? I think that's important too. A lot of times people are taking the same stories and recycling them, but I think exclusive work really well. And then when you have those exclusives, make sure that you're sending out links and you have a whole list, because blogs will take exclusives from you and post it and give you some credit. So maybe it's a good idea for you to have relationships with other blogs too, so that when you have stories, you can send it into them, or you have different things, you can be like, hey, would you mind posting this and just, giving me credit? Because things like that really matter too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Hello. Hello. My name is Terrence Harper. Thank you, ladies, for this opportunity. I do appreciate it a lot. So my name is Terrence Harper. I'm here with my mom. We've co-founded a feminine hygiene company. And I had a question for Miss Aaliyah, but also to piggyback with Miss Angela on that organic growth, because we just launched our social media about a month ago. We got about 166 followers. But I've also messaged verified individuals, almost like I messaged Miss Angela Yee. How do you get the influencer to see your information to then get that influenced assistance on your growth? Because, like I said, we're organically growing on our own, and we have great content, but we want that influencer to be able to see it, to assist us, just like similar to Jason Derulo and Chris Brown and things of that nature, without tagging.
Let me use that product then. What you got?
Oh, yes. Okay. And I also want to speak to something Amber said earlier about how she would have rather worked with a Reebok than with a Nike, because sometimes people really like to work with companies that they can help grow and see that growth, when it happens. So if somebody really can believe in it and be like, this is a great idea, then I think that is really beneficial also.
I think it is a great idea. Like I said, you go on our Instagram, it's called Fresh and Pats, and you'll see the content and the 2 videos, and it gives you the great information, and hopefully you guys like it and
Your
enjoy
slogan's great.
Also,
Your slogan is great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
the
my
Fresh
mom.
Solution.
She's there.
Okay, so as an influencer, and I have so many brands, in my DMs wanting to work with me. What I really like is when somebody comes to me and is like, just use my product. You don't have to post it. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. Just use my product. Let me know what you think. Sometimes brands come up to me. Sometimes brands, reach out to my team, and it's like they offer me their business, and they offer me their product. They're not as big, you know what I mean? But they're looking for a post. They're looking for that, what can I do? You know what I mean? So it really sticks out when a brand comes to me and is like, just use it and let me know what you think. Just plant the seed, water it, then walk away. Instead of planting the seed, here's Aaliyah Janelle, has her, let's water it, what can you do? What can you do? You know what I mean? So just not really looking for that post, not looking for what we can do for you, but just let it happen on its own.
All right, we have time for one more question.
I guess it's me. Hi, ladies. I just want to say thank you for coming out and showing up and teaching us all these things. It's incredible. My name is Jo McNally. I'm the author of this book, The Hero in the Helmet, Colin Kaepernick. I authored it in May. So my question is to Angela. Back in May, I got a chance to meet Charlemagne when his book Black Privilege came out. And Amber, I connected with you with the stalking, because I stalk him. I stalk Charlemagne, I do. And now I'm having an opportunity to meet you, Angela. And I'm just wondering, do I have to catch you or DJ Envy's next? What do I have to do to get on the Breakfast Club? What's up? Talk to your girl side. What's up?
People do ask us that all the time, trust me. We really do have a producer that kind of goes through it, but I think it's in your pitch also. There's people that have been on that show, and it might be something relevant going on, and you can pitch it in a certain way that our producer will read it and be like, this makes sense. That's really how you have to do it. You just have to pitch yourself and send it to the email on there, and then they'll go through it. But sometimes you might see somebody and you're like, how did they get on the Breakfast Club? They had a great pitch.
Okay, awesome. And so, yeah, I have a book for your book club.
See, that's part of it. Okay. Thank you. This is nice.
Thank you.
All right, well, this concludes our session. So all our names start with A up here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Aaliyah. Congratulations again.
Thank you for this opportunity, Black Enterprise. Thank you, Queen.
And thank you all. We can't wait to hear all these success stories when you guys can say, I remember when I heard Amber or Aaliyah talking, and they recommended this, and I did it. So it's one thing to listen. It's another thing to implement.
We are no different than you. We can do it. You can do it.